Welcome to another edition of W.A.B Sports Desk, along with your host Wayne Buckingham and Mr. Tim Beret. It's been a while, Tim. How you been doing? It's been a while since we've been on here. We had the our New Year podcast. How you been doing?
Absolutely, been doing great, Buck. Been traveling around, obviously, with Clemson football and basketball. Had a great trip to Orlando for the bowl game. Before that, went to Virginia with the basketball team and got a big win up there. So, with the COVID thing kind of picking back up, we missed out on the Duke game on the 29th.
Wow.
But we're supposed to play Virginia tomorrow night, so we just enjoy them when we get them.
Join when we get them. That's good. So you was down in Orlando. Let's go around the horn and just give everybody an outtake on what's going on up in Clemson. I know a lot been going on these last month or so. We had some coaches that got new jobs and left out with football, and we had a great showing down at the Cheetah. What's it called? I don't say the Cheetah Bowl, but
Cheez-It Bowl.
Cheez-It Bowl and everything. So just give us a little concept on that, Tim. I know you was there, and what was the atmosphere like?
Buck, have you ever had any Cheez-Its?
It's been a while, Tim. It's been a while since I had.
We had plenty of them in the press box. Let me tell you, they gave away boxes of Cheez-Its at the to the media, and that actually was a good way of promoting the game. So, but it was a lot of fun. It was a good victory for Clemson. You know, Iowa State was a team that was much better than its record. They were 7-5 going into the game, but they had a top 10 defense. They had a quarterback who led the nation in pass completion percentage. He completed 73% of its passes. So, all the Clemson coaches and media, we thought it was going to be a tough game, and it ended up being a close game. Clemson had the better defense going in. We were second in the nation in scoring defense, giving up 15 points a game, and we only allowed 13 to Iowa State, and that's what was needed to get a 20-13 victory. But it was a fascinating game. I think it was going to be one of the more higher rated games just because of all the changes we had offensively and defensively. Brent Venables taking the Oklahoma job, and Tony Elliott getting the Virginia job. So Dabo moved people up into those coordinator positions, and they both did well. Wesley Goodwin took over on defense, which was an unusual situation in that he really had not been a position coach. It's the first time I remember somebody going from not being a position coach being a coordinator. But, all the people I talked to, this guy is an X's and O's genius. And really, we didn't skip a beat in the bowl game. Buck, we gave up fewer points than we'd given up during the season. We gave up fewer yards than we had given up during the regular season, fewer passing yards, fewer rushing yards, and came out with a victory. And then offensively, we only scored 20 points, but we moved the ball. We had 9 third down conversions, which was certainly a key to the win. We ran the ball very well. We threw the ball to the backs a lot more than we have all year. And, Shipley, the running back, had a really good game. He had over 110 yards from scrimmage in terms of receiving and rushing. So, it was a good performance. And to get that 10th win, to keep that streak going, 11 straight years with at least 10 wins, the third longest streak of its kind in the history of college football.
Right. I watched the game. I was very, very, very pleased with the outcome. I felt like we didn't miss a beat. I know we had a lot of, like Dabo talked about it during the press conference. It was a trying season, but you got to realize we started the season off 2-2, and I think we won 6-7 games straight. Everybody's not going to go to the playoffs every year. You got to be very lucky and very blessed to get there. But I think we as some fans didn't realize, that's a 10-win season. Back in the day, it was good just to have a 10-win season to get to a bowl game. I think we was down a little bit compared to what we've been doing, but I was very happy to see those young guys out there playing their heart out and enjoying. and having a good time and getting to play that extra game, because a lot of teams need to play that extra game to have an opportunity to go to a bowl. I
You're
think
right.
we had a great,
I was going to say,
season.
you're right, Buck. There were 4 ACC teams that couldn't play their game because of COVID, either for them or for the opposition. So, yeah, that was certainly disappointing, for those teams. But we overcame a lot this year. During the COVID season of 2020, we had had to start 40 different players because of the COVID and all were guys that had to sit out. Well, this year, when we didn't have much COVID, we had to start 47 guys over the course of the season at the 22 positions. So we actually had more injury and illness problems this year than we had during the COVID season of 2020, and especially at the receiver position. We had 7 wide receivers that were lost for the season, at least for the last 3 games due to injury or whatever. It was just amazing how that position was hit. So, and that certainly affected our quarterback, Uiagalelei. So, the last 3 games he played with a bum knee. He's got to have, I guess he's got to have some kind of surgery, not to the extent that you're having in a couple of days, but I think he's going to be much better next year when he's a lot healthier.
Right. Yeah, I was very pleased with the outcome of the season. I really feel that it was a great season compared to anybody else. I know it was a down season compared to what we used to doing in the last 10 years, but overall it was a great season. It was a winning season, 10 wins. Only 2 other teams got 11 or more straight 10-year seasons. I think Dabo done a wonderful job fighting through. And I think the young men, a lot of people don't understand, these kids are 16, 17, 18 years old, young men, and we expect them to hold up like grown people. Even grown people break under pressure. Like, you got to realize all the media, all the different stuff, and been in the hot seat to come back and don't lose a game after starting 2-2. That says a lot about them young men's character. To be able to do that. Yeah,
no, you're right. This year really tested the culture of Dabo's program, and we saw that right at the end, Buck. A program that had gone to the playoffs 6 straight years, and we didn't have a single guy opt out. That says as much as anything about Dabo's culture and the spirit of the program. Booth, who's going to be a first-round draft pick, he was there at every practice. Xavier Thomas, he's a guy who's going to be a high draft pick. He was there at every practice. Tyler Davis, I don't know if he's going pro or not. We certainly hope he comes back. But he was out there. So, that just says a lot about about Dabo and the program and what they had to overcome. Great leadership of this team. James Skalski's going to go down as one of my favorite players, ever. He played for 6 years. It was just a shame he got hurt in his last game, but that was his 69th college football game. And so he's going to be one of my all-time favorite guys, and especially for me because he was there when I was still the full-time SID. So he was one of my guys.
All right, we can call him the old man of Clemson now.
Yeah.
Hey, 6 years. You got that in football. That's 10 years. Or every 1 year is 10 years, ain't it?
I tweeted out the week of the game, and Dabo said it to the team, and I figured out that Skalski had been to over 720 practices in his career. 720 practices. That's a lot.
And he needed to take that night off. Be honest with you, for your body to hold up like that, that's putting some time and some miles in.
Now, I don't know if you noticed at the end of the game, Skalski and Nolan Turner, who was another 6-year guy, they dumped they had a Gatorade bucket of Cheez-Its that they dumped on Dabo. Yeah. So it was fitting that those guys got to do it at the end of the game. That was fun to see. And I don't know if you noticed it, after Skalski did it, he bent down and he grabbed some Cheez-Its off the ground and he ate them. I
ain't throwing that good food away. Hey, I'm gonna go. I wish you'd have brought a couple of them boxes home. I
I
wouldn't mind
should
having one
have.
of those.
I should
Yeah, I didn't
have.
even think about telling you to bring a couple boxes home for some
Yeah.
souvenirs, man. But yeah, I enjoyed it, man. We actually sit over here and watched it at the house, and enjoyed that. Like I said, it was a wonderful game, man, and I truly appreciate the Clemson football, man. And, I think this was a trying year after COVID year. I think we showed character and understand what really Clemson football is all about: dedication, loyalty, and sticking to the game plan. So I was very pleased with them young men and the coaching staff,
And
and
we
very
should still,
happy.
I was going to say, we
Very
should still finish in the top 20. I mean, we were 19 going in, a couple of teams ahead of us lost. So we should finish 16 or 17 in the final poll that'll come out a week from tomorrow.
right. So just like Dabo said, every season is every season. So now this season is over. So now starting from scratch and working for next year, putting all the pieces back together, building the puzzle to get back where we want to be. You know what I'm saying? Where we want to be, not where people
Right.
think where we need to be as a team and but overall, like, we build character and young men. 90% of our kids graduate, with their degrees, and you that's all you can ask for as a parent coming to a university. It ain't really. I know you want to have fun and win, but you win when your son learns to know how to become a young man and go through adversity, and he can walk away there with that degree. Because football can get going from knee surgery, ankle surgery, whatever. That education is very, very, very important. So, very
Well, you're
proud
right.
of
You're
them.
right there, Buck. I mean, even the best of professional football players, most of them, their career is over when they're 32 or 33. C.J. Spiller played 8 years in the league, and his career was over when he was 30, 31 years old. Now he got his degree, and now he's a full-time coach at Clemson. That the Tom Brady's of the world are
Yeah,
very rare. He's 44 and he's still playing, but there aren't many guys certainly like him. So it's very important. Dabo knows the value of it and the importance of it, and he's always very proud when we had 30 guys on the team who suited up for the bowl game who already had their degrees, and I
wow,
know he was very, very proud of that fact. And he stays on the guys. The guys that are in the NFL, even making millions of dollars, he sends them a letter every year as to
right,
how many hours they still need to graduate. So he
got
still stays on them, and he knows it's important. And most of those guys are taking courses in the off season. That's the one good thing about the computer these days. You can take courses online to finish up, and so we've had guys that even like Michael Dean Perry finished up many years later. Levon Kirkland finished up 10 and 20 years later. So that's just good to see, and they value the importance of it. And Dabo, he'll even stay on the guys or give them opportunities to come back as student assistants, guys who didn't even play for him. He did that
right.
with Donnell Wolford. Donnell Wolford never played for him, but he gave him an opportunity to be a student assistant coach and
Terry Allen,
finished
Terry
up.
Allen,
Terry
Terry
Allen's
Allen.
another one. Terry Allen's another one. So yeah, there's a countless group of them who are doing that. Isaiah Battle, who did play for him, who was was there this year doing the same thing. I think he's got
Right.
another year to go. So yeah, certainly has been a real good season. Wasn't a playoff season that everybody's used to, but that's okay. You got to go through these times of the season to really appreciate when you get back.
Right. But Tim, I want to still talk Clemson football, but I want to move, man. I was there in the late '80s, all through '90s. But it was a young man, one of the first quarterbacks ever at Clemson University, to brought us our first national championship back with Coach Danny Ford back in the '80s. Good man. He's my idol. I mean, I say my idol, like when I think Clemson, I think of Homer Jordan. When I say Homer Jordan to you, what do that bring to you? Like, I look at him and I say this, don't take it the wrong way. Back in the day when Homer was there at Clemson, you wouldn't really heard of a black man being a quarterback. But at the same time, I give him all the praises in the world, because to be in the South and be a quarterback and going through hard times, but to bring the first national championship to Clemson University, you know, that was one of my good reasons to understand about when I came to Clemson, like we always talk about family and homes and all that. But this young man right here is a Clemson Hall of Famer. He's got the orange jacket. Should have a street named after him. We need to get a street named after him up there in Clemson. I'm gonna be honest with you, like seriously, like he's the first. We wouldn't have Deshaun Watson, we wouldn't have Taj Boyd, we wouldn't have Trevor Lawrence, these guys, if it wasn't for this guy right here. It's many guys have done great things after him, but you gotta realize he was the first to set the foundation. And actually, Coach Tim, before you say that, we actually have him coming in as a guest on our show today. We want to give you the opportunity to have a chance to talk to your good friend, my mentor, Mr. Homer Jordan.
My battery's down.
Oh my God, there he is, the real Homer Jordan.
My dude, what's up, Homer?
How you doing? What's going on?
How are you, Homer?
What's
Man,
up, Mr.
hey Tim, hold on, Tim. I want to say, hey, big dog, congratulations, man, on getting. I don't know if they gave you a jacket down there at the Orange Bowl or whatever, man. I watched it. That was big, brother. I'm so very proud of you as a man, as a Clemson man, for your journey, man, and where you came from, and you know you've been a big role model for a lot of athletes, not just at Clemson and Georgia. Man, you're a role model to follow behind, man. A stand-up guy. I never seen you say a harsh word or whatever. That's just me talking as an athlete to an athlete. I truly appreciate you, man. Truly appreciate you coming on the show and spending time with me and Tim Beret, man. But we want to pick your brain and, you know, just let you know we appreciate you, brother, at Clemson, man, for doing all you done and representing us at the Orange Bowl, being into the Hall of Fame. Tim, take it away, brother.
Homer, now do you notice the jacket I got on? I got my 1981 Orange Bowl jacket, and I was able to put it on. Do you still fit in yours?
I think that's mine because I don't have mine no more.
Yeah, well, you should. Notice mine says my name on it, Tim Beret. I'm sure they gave you one that said Homer Jordan on it, but I'm wearing this in your honor today.
Hey, Tim, without you, I wouldn't be where I'm at today, Tim, without you.
Well, it goes vice versa. You did so much for the program. But the first thing I want to know is, how was your trip this weekend? Give me a rundown of the schedule.
It pretty much was perfect. I got down there Wednesday morning, and Wednesday evening we had private dinners, and the banquet or whatever was Thursday at lunchtime, and then we have a private dinner Thursday night. We didn't do anything on Friday until the actual game. So,
right. And so they introduced you at the game?
They introduced us at the game. They did everything before the game.
For the
5 minutes before kickoff.
Okay.
And I got to meet a lot of good people.
Yeah, I was gonna say, some of the people you got to meet.
I met Dan Marino.
Oh, good.
And took pictures with him and Juwan Howard and somebody.
That's right. Yeah, I forgot about him. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I got to meet some good people. And Coach Carr.
Coach Carr went in the Hall of Fame with you. That's right.
In the Hall of Fame with me, and we kind of talked all week. And I'm finna sign a letter of intent with Michigan now because he go.
They found another year of eligibility for you.
They did.
Yeah. You know, in all seriousness, I think you played less than 4 games in 1979. So we
That's
do
right.
owe you, under today's rules, you'd have another year.
I don't need a year. I just need enough to get that NIL or whatever that deal is.
Yeah. Oh my God, Homer! Think of the NIL stuff you would have gotten in 1982 after we won the national championship in 1981.
Tim,
because you were a junior when we won the.
Give me that contract. I think.
Man, you'd have had all kind of stuff.
Woo.
Man, I tell you what. Well, Yeah. By the way, does Coach Carr, doesn't he live in South Carolina?
I think you do.
I think he retired to South Carolina.
I think so.
I've heard that he's been seen around in the upstate. So
This is
where were
what he.
you? Yeah, go
This is
ahead.
what he told me. He said when he comes to Athens, sometime when he comes, he's gonna look me up.
Well, good.
We had
I'm glad
we met, and it was just
you
right off the
guys
bat.
bonded.
Oh yeah, we did. It was great, and it made my week. So I loved it.
So were you in the stands or were you guys in a box for the game?
Oh, we was in the box,
Okay.
and I had my family there, and I think he had his, and then the other guy, he was the commissioner of the ACC. I can't recall.
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of
Mr.
talked.
Mr. Swafford. Yeah.
Yep, and we kind of bonded all week too. So
Well, good. Yeah, we had a strong ACC contingent then at the at the Hall of Fame for the Orange Bowl. Now, Buck, I got to tell you, when I talked to Homer about going in the Orange Bowl Hall of Fame and his excitement for this trip, the most thing he was excited about was the hotel he was going to get to stay in. Tell us about that, Homer.
well,
Was it the nicest hotel you've ever stayed in?
Yeah. But I asked them what hotel we was gonna stay in, and I said, just in case my family want to come get a room or whatnot. But they said the Ritz Carlton on on the beach somewhere in not Key West, but what's the nice part of Miami.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And so I said I show up. When they told me that, I said I'll come.
Yeah, that was a clincher for you. But then they probably told you what it would cost for extra room for your family. And then would you have 10 people stay with you in your room?
I had 2 people, but I told them it's a hotel down the street. So
seriously, what family members got to come with you?
I took my 2 sisters, and I had 3, but I lost one about a couple of years ago.
Right.
And so I took my 2 sisters came, and my two sons came. So
great.
It was a great moment for me when we was on the sideline, and right before the game, and right before they introduced us, that they got to be a part of it. So they didn't.
That's good.
I had to negotiate a little bit to get them a pass to come on the sideline. But they came and they got to experience the whole deal with me right there up close and personal. So,
well, that doesn't surprise you because you've always been a good negotiator when it came to getting sideline passes, Homer.
I like the wheel and deal, But it was great.
After Homer's career, Buck, and he finished playing, I used to get a few phone calls about getting an extra sideline pass for Homer.
I used to work him out.
Don't he got a permanent sideline pass now?
He darn well should have one. I tell you that.
Timmy,
we gotta get a street up there named after Homer Jordan.
It
could be Homer Jordan and Danny Ford meeting at the crossroads.
That would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna start that petition.
So then what we gonna do when we dedicate it and Jeff Davis comes up and says, "Where's mine?"
Yeah.
Fortunately, we have got a lot of legends for that era.
I got a question for Homer. I got a question for you, Homer. Being from where you been from, right? A small town down in Georgia. We know the story how you got to Clemson, and if you had to look back over your shoulder, look at your life, man, and you had to sum it up in one word, what would that word be?
Oof. Let me look in the dictionary right quick. Let me pull one out. I don't know.
What do it mean to you, man? What do it really mean to you?
It means a whole lot because I had, it wasn't just me. I had my dad died when I was young, so but I kind of, and then I'm the only boy out of 3 girls. So, but they they was, they was this family, I guess you could say, because they was with me from day one, and they still here today. They get on my nerves a little bit. My sisters do, but well, I mean, I get on their nerves. Put it that way. But family, and that's what Clemson felt because I used to be on my recruiting trips, and that's what it felt like. And people ask me today, why do you go to Clemson besides the other schools? And I said, well, I felt at home, to be honest.
Right.
And I was almost up there every week. But that's what it felt like to me. And family is important. That's all you got. And so my sister was there 40 years ago when we won down in Miami, and it was there today. I mean, this past weekend. So.
Wow.
And
that's all right.
My mom passed away a few years ago too, but she used to come to the game. But I didn't learn this till later, and she would be in the stand watching the game like this. So.
She's afraid little Homer's going to get hit on that option play.
Yeah,
they want to see her baby. That's wild.
And but that's it was just family, just building those relationships. So it means a lot to me. That's what I go by now. So
Buck, when I think of Homer, the first thing I think of today, the guy was born 40 years too soon.
40 years too soon.
I mean, in these offenses today, Homer would have been.
I've been pretty good, Tim.
Oh my God, Homer and Woody Dantzler. Those two guys would have been throwing for 3,000 and rushing for 1,500. Oh my God!
I got one more year.
Hey, you've been a Heisman. You've been a Heisman.
He would have been a Heisman. He would have.
They started that, remember, Tim?
If you hadn't hurt your knee your senior year,
yeah.
We only lost one game as it was, but so yeah, Kim Kelly and I before the '82 season, Homer loved peanut butter sandwiches, so we did this flyer thing of Homer eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and sent it out to all the media and had a lot of fun with it, but then unfortunately hurt his knee. Really only played half the season, but we still went 9-1-2.
Yeah,
and had a great, had a terrific season. So Homer, you got something, Buck, you want to say?
Yeah, I was going. So basically, Homer, you won the national championship your junior year.
My junior year, yeah.
Your junior year. Wow. All this time I was thinking you were your senior year. So it was your junior year. So Kim, can you give us a little bit of Homer's stats his freshman year compared to his junior year?
Well, his freshman year, freshmen didn't play quite as much back then. Freshman eligibility started in the fall of 1972. And so, before then we had freshman teams and JV teams.
Mm-hmm.
But when they cut the scholarships down from 95 to 85, that was kind of a trade-off they made. So they allowed freshman eligibility starting in that fall, but coaches really didn't play that many, freshmen until later years. The guys like actually Herschel Walker was one of the first freshmen that came in and started right away. So Homer only played, I think, in 2 or 3 games in 1979, his freshman year. I know you got in some action against that year. But then in 1980, he became the starter, which was kind of a fascinating story in itself. And that at the end of spring practice going into 1980, Andy Hedden had kind of beaten you out.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite stories about Homer. So we go into the August practice of 1980. And, like I said, the beginning of the practice, Coach Ford had basically named Andy Hedden the starter, but he was going to give Homer a chance. So we go out there and we have a scrimmage that was not in the stadium. It was on the practice field.
Mm-hmm.
And so Homer starts running the option, and I kept stats on the sideline. And in that scrimmage, Homer ran for 185 yards. And Andy Hedden didn't do that much. So I come up to Coach Ford to get some quotes for my story after practice. And the first thing he says to me is, "Hey, Tim, don't put Homer's stats in the newspaper tomorrow," because he knew he had all of a sudden he had a controversy and a decision to make, and he didn't want it to carry out publicly because Homer just run over the defense. So, and then obviously he had another great scrimmage after that. And by the time we started the opener against Rice, Homer was the starter, and Andy Hedden was playing defense.
Defense, yeah.
But the great epilogue of that story is how it worked out great for both, because Andy Hedden went on to become an all-ACC defensive end and went in the NFL for about 5 or 7 years, played on a Super Bowl championship team, and then Homer led us to the national championship at quarterback. So it was really neat the way that all worked out.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Homer, man, like I told you, boy, you mean the world to me, brother. I know I stay in your inbox.
So Homer, I know you saw, and I got to tell you, the people who are watching this, one of the best stories I've ever seen written by ESPN was written by Homer last week. Chris Lowe did one of the longest stories I've ever seen on ESPN.com about Homer. He went down to I kind of blazed the trail and told Homer, now this guy's a good guy. You need to let him. And then Homer, I'm sure you saw the story. It's one of the best stories that I've seen. In fact, Chris told me that Coach Ford actually called up Chris to thank him for that story and what a great job he did.
I actually need to call him, because I've been having a lot of people tell me that story inspired him, and it was a great read. But I hadn't looked at it because I don't like to. I hadn't read or whatever, because I don't like to go back and but I hadn't. But a lot of people been telling me that they really enjoyed reading the story.
Yeah.
So I need to call Chris myself.
You do, yeah. I'll send you. I got his number. I'll send it to you. Okay. But it was really, really well done, and you probably never really realized everything you did, and the impact that it had. I did some research for him, and the number of African American quarterbacks that led teams to national championships after you was like 8 of the next 13 years.
Oh,
so
wow.
you really kind of blazed the trail for Tony Rice at Notre Dame and some other guys. So you should take great pride in that. I know you're the most humble guy around there. You're the Hunter Renfro of the 1980s. But that was a great story, and we're just proud of you. And I was glad to help Chris get that done. One of the things he mentioned in the story, and I'm not going to say this to make you emotional, but I do remember. Just talk a little bit about the positive impact your wife Deborah had when you were at Clemson and beyond, because she was with you all the time.
She was with me. We started dating, I believe, my sophomore year or junior year in high school, and actually, my buddy, he was one of my best friends in high school, Jimmy Payne. Because I used to go over her house was her brother's house, Anthony Arnold, who played at Georgia, and Jimmy Payne.
Yeah, he was a great player. He's a defensive end, wasn't he?
Yeah, Jimmy Payne,
great player.
End at Georgia. Yeah, we was all best friends. We used to go there on Sundays and play basketball. And Jimmy liked her first. She liked him as a friend, and that's about it. And then I kind of started talking to her, and we just went for there. And after when she came to every game at Clemson, and but she was, you know how we run down the hill, and everybody cheering and excited or whatever. And we had with the section, the little recruiting section, that was where mothers and sisters or families sit at. So before I played every game, I had to find my family. Before I could hit the field. And that put me at ease that to go. But it was all about her, and we were together for like about 40 years. So,
wow.
Was she a track athlete?
No, she played basketball in high school.
She played basketball in high school. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. But she was a great person.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely. Yeah.
still today it's hard to talk about. So
yeah, I know that's why. But I did want to bring her up to have people recognize the credit she should
all the
get for
credit.
everything that you did,
She get all the credit.
Dealt, just dealing with the pressures of being a quarterback and doing what you did. So,
well, we had to win games, so curfew at the game. So because I came home every weekend just to see her,
That's why. And now I got to tell you, I didn't know this. That's why the players, all the Perry Tuttle, those guys would call you Bird.
Bird, yep.
And I could never figure out why they were calling you Bird.
That's
because
why.
you would always fly home after the games.
Yep, just to see her.
How about that, Buck? How's that for the derivation of a nickname?
Don't tell nobody else.
Hey, and I heard him calling the Bird at the last tournament this past week. I was like, Bird, I thought he was fast.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah,
that's all right, man.
She was great, and they took even at Clemson, they took care of her. So,
absolutely, absolutely. So we'd be a little bit remiss if we just didn't ask you about maybe some of your memories of that night we won the national championship. People probably don't. I always tell people, or kiddingly say to the guys who are researching on the game, I'd say, Homer was the offensive MVP of the game. See if you can go find some quotes from Homer after the game. Well, there are no quotes from Homer because Homer passed out. You're probably the only MVP of the Orange Bowl who didn't come to a post-game press conference to do interviews. So kind of tell people what happened.
No, they didn't, because I was at halftime I started feeling kind of woozy, and they gave me whatever. Drink this or take this pill or whatever. So I took it. And then after the game, we celebrating on the field, and we go in the locker room. Everybody's cheering, and so I'm looking for Doc Hoover at this time.
Doc Hoover.
And so they started taking care of me and all this kind of stuff, and then the team left, and I was still in the locker room. Me, Doc Hoover, and the janitors, I think.
They were giving you IVs.
They gave me IVs after the game, and I said, "Well, Doc, I need a ride to the hotel to celebrate." So the buses that left me, and all we had was a police car. So the police car took me back to the hotel, and I had to stay in my room all night, and I couldn't get to party with my teammates. But
wow.
I sat in the front seat of the police car, not the back seat. So that was my celebration after the national championship that I had to ride.
Wow.
Now, let me give you the scenario on what would have happened if that happened today with social media. So you're riding down the street in a police car, and somebody would have taken a picture and tweeted out, Homer Jordan arrested after celebrating the Orange Bowl.
But look,
he had been on Twitter and everything.
He would have been on Twitter.
Well, this weekend, this down in Miami for the Orange Bowl, one of the guys on the committee is the guy who put me in the police car. I forgot his name, but
no way.
Yeah, he went to Clemson, I think, and
really,
and he knew the whole story, and he
wow.
He found a police car and put me in there.
Yeah, there are a couple of guys from Clemson on the committee. Wow, that is unbelievable.
Yeah,
because there are hosts.
Yeah.
For team hosts, so I'm sure you're right. I'm sure there was a guy who was in charge of getting sure you got back to the hotel.
Yeah, I think the like one of the president of that committee or something. His wife, I met her. She graduated from Clemson too.
Okay, yeah, there was a good contingent of Clemson people on the Orange Bowl. Well, yeah, that is a great story at the end of that game. I know you threw for 134 yards and ran for 46, but of course that included sacks. I think you had like a 15-yard run on our last possession that allowed us to run the clock down to about 8 seconds left.
Yeah.
And going back to our previous story, about you and Andy Hedden, it was very fitting so that Homer carried the ball on our last possession to run the clock down. And then on Nebraska's last play, they tried to throw a long pass down the field. And the Clemson guy who knocked it down was Andy Hedden.
Yeah.
This is unbelievable when you think about it.
Yeah.
So, hey, Homer, I got a question. I wasn't in '80. I was a little child back then. Well, I wasn't little, but I was young. So,
but you were big, as William Perry once said. Even when you were little, you were big.
So take us through that play when you threw the touchdown pass that number 22 caught the ball. What was Perry Tuttle? What was the? Just give us a moment. Take us back to '80. What was going on in the huddle? What was at the sideline? Was it Coach Ford called a timeout? Give us what you can remember. How did that play develop?
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely give you what I can remember. But I came to the line of scrimmage, and if I didn't, like what I seen on any play, really, I had to, the green light to go ahead and check out of it or whatever. So I looked over there, and the guy was like one-on-one with Perry, and I nodded at Perry like, I'm coming. And so I dropped back, and it wasn't a great pass, but Perry went up and got it and made the catch.
You threw it kind of high, didn't you?
I threw it high.
Kind of a jump ball type play.
Yeah, and I made him show his skills outside. But I told him it was the pass. It wasn't him catching it. So it was all about the placement of the ball.
But his celebration ended up on the cover of Sports Illustrated on that
catch. He gets Sports Illustrated.
You was knocked out, so you couldn't get on no picture because you was back there knocked out and had IVs in y'all.
Yeah, I could say this was a classic Perry Tuttle. Jeff Davis was the defensive MVP. Homer Jordan was the offensive MVP. But who got on the cover of Sports Illustrated? Perry Tuttle.
And then he was on ABC News and everything up in New York.
Yeah, that's right. He was on the Today Show. Before he and Coach Ford were on the Today Show. They flew him up to promote because the game was on NBC.
Yeah,
but yeah. But Homer, you were a little shy.
I was a little shy.
So
they picked the right person.
They picked the right person. I think that was a Mr. Bradley decision.
Oh yeah,
then.
My man, home.
So,
but hey, man, stay off Facebook.
Hey, well, I had you on there every day leading up to it, baby. Hey, I keep Clemson together. I keep us together, baby. You know how it goes.
Hey.
But no, man, I love you, brother. I really do. I love you.
Love y'all.
Homer, great to see you, man. I'm glad you had such a good time, and you certainly a deserving Hall of Famer, and I'm sure we'll see you up here during spring practice sometime.
Yeah, I'll come up for the game. I know.
Yeah.
Bring my boys.
Bring your boys. Yeah.
Hey, Homer, take a few minutes, man, for your fans and our followers, man. If you got anything you want to say to them or whatever, people that look up to you, young men, and just give just a short whatever you want to do, man, before you leave us out.
For me, I appreciate the support they gave me back then. Even still today, they come and tell all the stories and all that. So, like from fans, coaches to players, they always supported me and always behind me. Well, sometimes they booed me, sometimes, but
not often.
But I deserved it. But it's great to Clemson when they say it's a special place, it is. It really truly is. And no second thought, no second guess, no nothing. I made the right decision to go to Clemson, and so any kids, in athletics, need to just visit Clemson because I can't. You got to feel that moment, you got to be there to feel what I'm talking about, and just experience it. And it's a great place to be.
Well, you helped make it a special place. So thank you.
Thank you, Tim. We'll give you that check. Y'all go get it to you, and then Buck, I'm gonna give you mine. Y'all, keep having me on here.
Hey, we appreciate your homework, man. This is W.A.B. Sports Desk. We'll be right back with Tim Beret and Wayne Buckingham after this message. We want to give a shout out to Mr. Homer Jordan, Clemson Hall of Famer, Orange Bowl Hall of Famer, Clemson quarterback, first ACC Clemson championship winner, Hosman. I love you, man. Appreciate you being on the show. We'll be right back.
Hey, love you, Tim. And I'm gonna come to a basketball game one day.
Yeah, let us know.
Tim, hold on. Don't hang up, Tim. Homer, we appreciate you, brother. You can hang up, Homer.
All right, see you, Homer.
We see you later, brother. Appreciate you.
Take care now.
All right. Tim, my man, Homer Jordan.
That was pretty good.
I love him, man. That's my dude, man. I love him.
He's the most down-to-earth guy going.
Man, before we got a few more minutes, Tim, before we jump off of here and finish up with our Monday show, man. Man, what's up with our kid out there at was it Los Angeles Raiders? I love. Hey, he's winning my heart, man. He's winning my heart.
Hunter Renfrow. I tell you what, Bob. If there's ever a guy Clemson fans root for, it's this guy. And you talk about he really is like Homer. He's the most humble guy going, and and you got to love it when he scores a touchdown. He just turns around and throws the ball to the referee. There's no, he doesn't do any craziness.
You see last night?
Yeah, last night. Perfect example.
They took his touchdown from him.
Right.
The guy didn't touch him.
Yeah, I didn't see that he touched him either. So, he did a press conference afterwards, and he kind of, and as it turned out, I mean, football, it ended up being to their benefit because they were able to run out the clock, and the other team never got the ball. So if they had scored with 42 seconds left, then the Colts could have come down and had a chance to tie. So, he said in his interview he even thought about just taking a knee at the 5-yard line and not go because he's so smart. He knows the ins and outs of the game. But Buck, he came to Clemson as a walk-on. He wanted to go to Clemson. He had scholarship offers to be a combination football baseball guy at Furman. A lot of people don't realize that. According to the people that rate baseball high school talent, he was the number 7 ranked baseball player in the state of South Carolina his senior year. His father was a great baseball football combination player at Wofford. In fact, it's the same. Homer, when we played Wofford in 1981, Homer threw an interception in that game, and it was intercepted by Hunter Renfrow's father.
Okay.
Believe it or not, that was the only interception that he had in that game. But anyway, he has been unbelievable. He's got 99 catches for 1,025 yards. He's got 7 touchdowns. I still think he's got a chance to get picked for the Pro Bowl when they do the final rosters. But he is just the most down-to-earth guy. I got to tell you a funny story. Size-wise, he's always been smaller than most guys. And I think you've met my girlfriend, Kay Davis. So we were at the bowl game in 2015, his freshman year, and we're at the team hotel, and Hunter gets on the elevator with us, and I introduced her to him. And so when Hunter gets off at his floor, she says, who does he belong to? Meaning, what coach's kid is he? She thought he was a son of one of the coaches. She didn't even know he was on the team. So I told her it was Hunter Renfrow, and she said, no, you got to be kidding me. But he's just such an overachiever, has such an ability to get yards after the catch. There was one catch yesterday he made. It was like a 3rd and 13, and he caught the ball and just got an extra 7 yards on it to make it a 4th and 1 so that the Raiders could go for it, and they ended up getting the first down. But he had a great job punt returning yesterday. Also, he had 64 yards in punt return. So I watch the Raiders every week, and of course they got other Clemson guys on it. John Simpson's the starting offensive lineman. Cleveland Farrell is a defensive end, and Trayvon Mullen unfortunately hurt his foot and is out for the rest of the year. But we got 4 Tigers on the Raiders.
Right. Yeah, I've been keeping up with him. I knew about the other guy, but I've been because of Hunter, man. I love his story, man. The walk-on kid. I love what he did at Clemson. It's just like he's got one of. He's gonna have a great story when he retires. He's gonna have a great story.
Now you know the. I invited him to come to your golf tournament 2 summers ago, but then we had to postpone, and he was going to come, but it got postponed because of COVID. And then by the time we rescheduled it, he was obviously already out in Los Angeles. But he loves golf. He's a really good golfer. So I'm hoping that sometime we can get him in if he's in the area.
We need to keep him on mind for this year. The golf tournament is this coming June the 24th, 25th, and 26th at Bostonville, right there as you're going to Anderson. The date has been set. That 24th will be the tailgate party at the hotel. Then Saturday we'll do the autograph signing with the kids and stuff, and the draft party that Saturday night. And the golf tournament will be that Sunday, all day Sunday, at Bostonville on the 26th. And so we got all that set. We'll start working on that at the end of the year. So it's a new year, man. Like I said, that's our first show for the new year. I appreciate you. Know you've been real busy. We didn't get a chance to talk about basketball. We can get that later on this week. Hopefully after my surgery. I know they're doing Sharon. Sharon called me. They are retiring, putting his jersey in the Rafters, I think.
Yeah, the 15th.
The 15th. Well,
Saturday the 15th, yeah. I don't know if you're going
to – I don't know, but I don't know if you're
going to be ready to travel but by then. I don't know. You're having a pretty serious surgery.
Yeah. Then we got the Clemson men's
reunion.
I think that's on the 11th and 12th of February.
I think it's February 12th, and I'm pleased to say that they picked the Notre Dame game to be the reunion game. So that'll be fun. No, I'm going for the Tigers. Now if Digger Phelps, Digger and I are real close. If he was still the coach, but he's not, and so we'll gonna have a fun day that night. Okay,
most definitely, Tim. Appreciate you coming back on the show with us this starting the new year off, man, and 2022. Get everything together. Make sure you tell everybody down in Clemson land I'll be there as soon as I can when I get out of surgery. And we look forward, for 2022, this wonderful year, and getting these guys out here on the show with us, man, and everything. I always love Clemson Tigers till the day I die. So you know how that is.
Sounds good, Buck. You good luck with your surgery.
I appreciate you, Tim.
You'll be a new man when it comes out.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we truly appreciate you, brother. Here from W.A.B. Sports Desk with Tim Beret and Wayne Buckingham. Y'all stay tuned to next Monday. We'll be back with Sports Talk here on W.A.B. Sports Talk. Tim Beret and Wayne Buckingham.
Take care, Buck.
Take care.